Hey, everybody, welcome to Sexy Nerd Science, Season 5, Episode 5. I'm here with Drew and Dale.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Just kidding, it's me.
No one thought it was anybody different.
I'm Baby Brent. That's what you look like. You should cosplay Baby Brent.
No.
You know who Baby Brent is?
No, who's Baby Brent?
Baby Brent's from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Oh, man.
Unfortunately, I've only seen parts of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
You're quoting a very obscure reference. I hope this is not my question of the week.
I know, I really am like, we wish we would have talked about this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should cosplay Baby Brent.
I need a tracksuit.
Yeah, sort of. Here, hold on. Share. Window. Share.
And we are recording.
I know, it don't matter. It's Baby Brent.
Oh
This
my
is
God,
great.
he's huge. How is he baby?
It's so he's this baby like in the in a baby sardine commercial in the movie. He's a baby in a sardine commercial on an island where all they sell is sardines in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball. And he grows up and he's the most famous person on the island, so he like talks this like he's got this big ego. And he carries around giant, like huge golden scissors to cut the ribbons and stuff at ceremonies.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
Baby Brent. Josh, there's a point in the movie where he gets swallowed by a chicken. And he comes back out, but the only thing that pops out is his head. That's what reminded me when Josh pulled his head out. And he's like, "Whoa!"
Oh, hey. Is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, is that the one with the island that's like has a bunch of food on it, or is that the sequel?
Well, it's the same. The island has a bunch of food on it, happens because of the first one. The second one is when the island...
They go to the island with a bunch of food on it.
No.
No?
The second one is where the island, the food on the island becomes sentient.
That's what I meant. Yep, okay.
So...
That's the one I've seen with like the talking strawberry and stuff.
There's a leak in the boat. Ah! Yeah.
Is this a good movie in the Drew family?
Oh, we watch it. We watch it weekly.
Oh, wow.
Charlie watches it probably 3 days in a row.
That is crazy.
But like only
Kids
for
like
15
redundancies.
15 to 20 minutes at a
Fucking
time.
Clark just watches Moana, and now his new movie is Coco.
Ooh.
Charlie loves Coco.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a big hit with the kids.
yeah. So, hey guys, we got a great show for you. Do you guys want to say hi again, or?
Speaking of Coco, no.
Um,
Speaking of Nesquik,
Check out this week's sponsor.
this week's sponsor is Sexy Nerd Science.
chocolate milk.
We sponsor
We all
ourselves.
just have chocolate
Did somebody say chocolate?
Chocolate. All right, guys. So we are gonna jump right into some sexy news.
I remember when they first invented chocolate.
I remember.
I always hated it.
I hated chocolate. Dale, what's this about? What's this cool stuff that
You're going to ask Dale what it's about?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Dale what it's about because Dale's the one that loves that Samsung.
Dale
I
was
did not watch it. I
Yeah.
watched the first
Oh, no,
5 minutes of it.
I don't care that you didn't watch it. I just want you to intro it. Just tell me about it, what it is, and then Josh
a time before
Tell us, Dale.
a time before phones even existed, Samsung erupted from the depth at Unpacked 2019.
Hold on. Timeout.
Phones didn't exist in
Phones didn't-
2019.
Phones
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
exist last year.
Yeah, just last year.
What have we been using this whole
What is
time?
this thing?
Fuck you, Alexander Graham Bell. By the way, show for kids.
So today, the 20th of February, Samsung had their keynote, their presentation. They called it Unpacked 2019.
Hold on,
Because they can't call it a keynote because
Yeah,
then
they
they're like,
can't call it a
bit off
keynote.
Apple.
because that's
Oh,
Apple.
is that an Apple exclusive thing?
It's just the word they use for whatever
Okay.
reason.
I've always whatever. Point
There's
is,
a keynote too, but neither here nor there. Go ahead.
No,
point
it's-
is though they came out, or they didn't come out with anything, but they announced their in the next month or two coming out with the S10, the new Samsung Fold, which if you're living under a rock, you've seen pictures of that on the TV and all over the internet probably, and a few other watches and headphones and a bunch of other crap.
Yeah.
Point is, though, it was really cool, and I am super happy that Samsung decided in the S10 to keep the headphone jack. That was all I cared about.
We were definitely super scared that they were going to get rid of that, even though 2/3 of this podcast doesn't even have Samsung phones.
Then why would we be excited about it?
Because we care about your feelings, Dale.
Oh, thank you.
This isn't just the Drew and Josh show anymore.
Yeah.
We added you, man.
It's not the Drew and Josh show anymore. Anyway, it's just the Drew show. I'm on the show.
Can we go back to the Drew and Josh show?
No, we need you, Dale.
We do, really bad. Hey, have you guys wondered why we don't have any episodes out lately?
Talk to
Because
Dale.
me and Drew don't help.
So Josh, tell us about the phone. Besides the headphone jack bit.
So besides the headphone jack, so first of all, the first thing they talked about was the Samsung Fold, which is a normal everyday size phone. And then if you unfold it, it becomes a 7-inch tablet with a 12 gigs of RAM, which is fantastic. However, starting price over $2,500.
That's for the expensive
cellular version.
I think the start one was 19.
Whatever.
Still, hold on, pause. That is the most expensive phone besides the first brick cell phone. That's ridiculous.
But there's so many downsides to this that I don't think it's practical. I think it's a good start from where Samsung is, but I don't think it's practical yet.
Well, so
meanwhile, Apple's iPad Pros are bending already. It's true. There's a whole lawsuit about it.
What?
Yeah. We should have had that in the sexy news too.
We can talk about that. Why is it the new iPad Pros, or is it like the same ones?
The new iPad Pros that are thinner and lighter and made of aluminum have the same problem that the first aluminum iPhone 6s and 6 Pluses had. They're too thin, and so they bend pretty easily.
So who's sitting on their iPad Pro?
They were actually shipped to the consumer already bent.
Holy shit. That's a big fucking loss. Well, I guess they could probably still.
It's guaranteed apps, although keep functioning. If you don't like the bend, we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
But they're going to function 100% fine.
Because it doesn't bend. It doesn't bend astronomically, right?
No, it's just so when you sit it flat, it teeters.
So could you just rebend it back?
Just put it in a case.
I'm sure, but you might end up breaking the glass.
Just put it in a case. Case will hold it.
It's true. But back to Samsung. So the Flip, Samsung Flip.
Is that what it's called?
Fold.
That's a trifold.
Fold. Yeah. So the Samsung Fold. It's not a trifold. It's literally just like this that then just pops up that way, and then it's a 7-inch diameter screen.
So the one there's a bunch of downsides I don't like about it.
Yeah.
One, no headphone jack. Got that. But the second one, the front screen is so small.
Yeah, it's like 4.6 inches.
But it's not even the size of the screen that bothers me. It's the size of the display body ratio. Like, I'm not even joking you. 60% of the front is screen, 40% is not. Where you have maybe like on a regular phone nowadays, like maybe less than 5% is edge and bevel. This has huge, like just the center of the phone is the screen.
Not always. Not always.
Fingers on top and bottom. Well, no, I'm not always, but there's a large trying to get away from bevels nowadays, and they're sticking with like a large bevel.
Hold on.
Part of the thing.
I don't get. I guess I would. Oh, there it is. There's a GIF. So the interior is the new screen.
Yeah, that's the foldable part.
That looks ridiculous. It literally looks like, those old toys where you could flip it.
Jacob's ladders?
Yeah. Not the piercing, though. Those things, it looks like one of those, but just a phone.
Yep. It's pretty dumb. Yeah, and the one I was looking at, was the 5G.
I'm okay with the concept. I really like the concept of having a phone and being able to put it into tablet mode when you're out and about. But tablets are so portable already that I don't understand. Like, I don't see a situation that I'm going to take a phone and then put it into a tablet mode in my everyday life. If I'm going to be sitting there watching a movie or something, I'm bringing my tablet along. It's thin enough where I can put it anywhere.
Have you guys seen that The one that
trifold one.
The trifold one. What is that?
I thought that was just a concept for the Samsung back in the day, but it's not what they went with.
Oh.
But from what I remember, it was like you open up one side and then open up this side down, and then that was supposed to be.
Yeah, I just saw something about it the other day. But anyway, whichever.
So that wasn't the only big announcement. The other big announcement was about 17 different phones coming from the Samsung Galaxy S10. So,
what?
Yeah. So Samsung Galaxy S10, you can get the S10, the S10 Plus, or the S10e. Similar to how you can get the iPhone Max, and iPhone SE.
Yeah, but you can also get the iPhone
10R. Yep, same thing. So basically, the Samsung S10 is their basic phone. It's got the edge-to-edge screen. Instead of a bevel, they literally just have a notch for the camera, which is pretty cool just looking at it. Holding it's really fun. A sonic sensor, fingerprint sensor, instead of an optical fingerprint sensor, which is kind of cool.
Not a sonic, ultrasound.
Yeah, so it uses sound, sonic.
I'm just telling you what it's.
Yeah, it's got a funky name. But yeah, so it's the ultrasonic sensor, I think is what it's actually called.
Oh, they could have it named that, yeah.
Yeah, but it literally just maps your finger using a rip-off sonar technique. And it's better than using an optical system. So got rid of facial recognition completely. No iris scanner, no nothing like that. Just the fingerprint reader, but it's through the whole glass. So edge-to-edge phone, you can do your thumbprint right in the middle of your phone. And then inductive charging was a thing that the phone is capable of. So you can put it into share power mode. And on the back of the phone has the inductive charging plate. And you can put other phones there. You can put Samsung's exclusive new headphones they're launching, new watch.
They are. I was just going to ask, are they going to bring a watch back up?
Can you talk closer to the mic, Drew?
Yep, they're going to be doing a new watch and a new, what am I thinking? Headset, VR thing is what I saw. So from the camera base or from the phone, then they have the Plus version, which is just a bigger edge-to-edge screen. Then on the big one, you can get a signature series that has a terabyte hard drive with 12 gigs of RAM instead of 8 gigs of RAM. And that 12 gigs of RAM phone will have a ceramic back on it instead of the sweet glass back they have on all the other phones. It's got Gorilla Glass 6 on the front, Gorilla Glass 5 on the back. Yeah, I was going through all the specs. There's going to be a 5G compatible version of the phone coming out later on this year. So all the phones you're getting now will not be 5G compatible, but the phones later on will be customizable to the 5G network depending on what carrier you have them on. And now, so this is going to be the issue you're going to run into is T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon are going to have different band frequencies for their 5G network. So you will not be able to get a carrier unlocked version of this phone and take it to a different carrier. One of the downsides with the 5G network.
Well, you still might be able to.
From what Samsung's saying is that the phone that they have will be custom made for each carrier's 5G network.
It's possible that it's just going to stick with that. But I know most phones have like, if you get an unlocked version, that it would have multiple broadband receptors to it.
Yeah, and they do. I mean, now for the LTE version, they totally do. But think back to, so the last time we had smartphones when 4G and LTE came out, like the iPhone, for instance, up until the iPhone 4S, you did not have anything other than AT&T's.
I spent 10 hours, I'm not even joking you, 10 hours sitting at my computer one day, and I converted a 3GS from AT&T to T-Mobile.
Yep.
And
which are both GSM carriers and share 80 to 90% of their bands.
Yeah, and it took 10 hours to complete because I had to learn everything from scratch. Finally got it, though.
So, but the new phone, the 12 gigs of RAM and sweet porcelain back one, you're probably looking, they haven't announced an official price for that. Probably somewhere around $1,200 to a little higher than that. The regular 10 is going to be $899, $900. So right there, price point of the iPhone XS. And then the 10 SE for Samsung is going to be, I think it was like $700, $649, something like that. So overall, there's some things that are leaving the cheaper version of the phone that aren't going to be on the more expensive versions of the phone, just like the 10R sacrifices the dual cameras and stuff like that. But overall,
I think it's a okay thing to do.
And then I think
it's an economy. Some people don't want like the portrait mode. So I mean, you don't need the dual camera.
The thing that I think the biggest problem is, so some of the cameras don't, like Drew was saying, some of the cameras don't have portrait mode on them, which actually all of the new iPhones do, including the 10R. They just use a different software to do the portrait mode. They take multiple pictures and then change the depth instead of doing two cameras at different focal lengths. But the Samsung will have the dual cameras on all their devices anyways, except on the front of the 10 and the 10R does not have a dual camera. But there is another thing I was going to mention about the 10S or the iPhone or the Samsung 10s, and I just can't remember what it was. Head screen, 5G, wireless charging.
I think I'm going to wait until the 5G comes out.
So T-Mobile's talking a lot of smack that their 5G network is going to be better than everybody else. I'll believe it when I see it, simply because T-Mobile doesn't have nearly as much money as AT&T and Verizon to throw around.
But they don't have all that debt. That's for sure.
None of them have debt.
Wow.
T-Mobile doesn't have debt because AT&T paid it all off, but that's besides the point. They do have a ton of debt because they just bought Sprint, and Sprint barely made a profit the last 2 quarters.
T-Mobile did, or
T-Mobile bought Sprint? Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
So that's our Samsung Galaxy S10. When I get an actual S10 in my store that I can play around with and do some fun things, maybe I can get some more fun facts about it. But
nice.
I was honestly, I've been Googling it, and that's pretty much everything we talked about already. So
if the 10 Plus with the terabyte was like, I don't necessarily need a terabyte. I do like the 12 gigs of RAM. I think it's going to be a super fast phone, but it also might not be compatible with the 5G network when it comes out.
I'm the exact opposite. I'd rather have the terabyte over the 12.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like wireless stuff, but I like wireless storage. So.
Oh, I don't use it either. I turn all that crap off.
I know.
Well, so real quick,
makes the phones run faster.
Is it going to be able to act as an external hard drive? Is that kind of the thought process?
Same as any other phone.
Yeah. So any Samsung phone right now, if you have a USB-C to
I guess I haven't had a non-Apple phone for like half a decade, so
yeah,
I don't know how that works anymore.
And again, I don't know who's running around needing to have portable hard drives anymore.
Specifically, a lot of the stuff
I have one right in front of me.
A lot of stuff that
I take it every day to work so I can edit podcast stuff.
So here's the reason why I think it's counterintuitive. If you're going to build a 5G phone, you don't need you will be able to download cloud storage space to your phone super fast. There's no reason to bog down your phone with having that much storage space. So this is not the first phone to have a terabyte of memory. The LG G4, you could put an SD card in it to expand it up to 2 terabytes if you wanted to.
So that's what I want to do. I want to go to 2 terabytes.
Good luck finding a 2 terabyte SD card. Well, maybe not.
What's the max you can put in the S10? That's what I'm looking for.
The S10?
Yeah.
I think
will it be 1 terabyte to a max of 2, or will it be
possibly
2 terabyte to a max of 3?
I'm assuming it's probably going to be you could probably add a 2 terabyte card to it. But the problem that you're going to run into is when you have all that storage space, even 12 gigs of RAM is going to have a hard time going through all of that information. So that was the thing that we saw.
that's why it's one of those things where you don't have it as part of the hard. You don't have it like you put all your apps and everything on your main storage, and then you put all your external like pictures and everything on your external.
Well, that's not how Android runs. Android
Yes,
makes
it
you
is.
mount. No, Android makes you mount the SD card to the hard drive as
Yeah,
part of extended
you don't-
part of the hard drive.
But you don't have to.
Then you can't put your apps and stuff on it.
How much?
Then you can only store photos. And
Correct. Why would I want to store my apps on the SD card?
because nowadays when your apps are half a gig to almost a gig plus 100 apps, you're running out of storage space. I mean,
I guess, but then the RAM's going to have trouble keeping up.
exactly. So
So I think we're
we're
on
getting to the
agreement,
point
but
where we're
it's,
putting too much storage space on phones.
yeah. I wouldn't load.
Up regardless.
I wouldn't load. I wouldn't mount my SD card as a extra or as a second hard drive.
I don't know. From what I've seen, I didn't know there was a way to, even on Samsung, to have the SD card not mounted. Like you don't have to straight format it to the hard drive, but every time you put an SD card into the phone, it usually asks you to mount or unmount that SD card.
Yeah, and you just say no, thank you.
I didn't know you could no thank you out of it. I thought for everything I've always seen,
Well, maybe I'm an
forced
idiot.
to do it. But that was one of the things that I've always noticed. Like I like that having flash storage is great. It's really good. It's just 256 gigs is enough for me. I don't think that I've ever needed.
I mean, I have 256 gig SD card, and I don't know how much on my actual thing I have, but I'm not even close to filling it up.
No, and that's what I mean. Like, and I'd much rather have 12 gigs of RAM with 256 gigs that it can just power through every single thing I have my phone on easy than risk putting a terabyte worth of information on my phone and having it run just as fast as my
I don't care about
8
that.
gig phone.
I mean,
So-
if you're gonna have the 12 gigs, I'm not even gonna get close to, like, I could run it on a 4 gig. I don't care. So I have a 64 gig hard drive space and then 256 external, but I only have 35 gigs on there.
So here's the kicker for me. Take a ton of pictures, like a fuck ton. Not only do I take a ton of pictures, but each of those pictures has so much data because they do things like live photos and composites and all that shit, right? I have probably 100 gigs just of photos on my phone right now.
Yep.
And
that's where cloud storage, I think, would come in handy.
But the problem with cloud storage is when I tried that and I used it, I didn't have access to that, to half the stuff. Because every time I went in, I would go through and I'd go back to X date and it wouldn't go past that. And I don't know if I'm just using it terribly or how it works. I know that.
Well, you are one of the top 1,000 smartest people I know, Drew.
I'm not the one that said that. Okay,
That's not Drew. It said that.
First of all, I'm not the one that said that. Second of all, I've only ever used iPhone's cloud storage for like backing up, not anything like.
So I have my photo library synced to my cloud. I pay for 200 gigs. It costs me 99 cents a month to get 200 gigs of extra cloud storage. And what it does is it keeps a high-res image on the cloud and a low-res image on my phone. But the second I start messing with the low-res image on my phone, it re-downloads the high-res image so then I can manipulate it, edit it, and do stuff like that. The other thing that's really nice is every change I make on my phone doesn't change into the cloud. So what it's doing is it's going to save multiple iterations of that editing. So if I go and crop an image just to get someone's face out of a crowd of people, I can actually always go back into that photo and then uncrop, unedit, undo this.
Isn't that how it is anyway, even if you had it on your phone?
No, because if you have the picture stored to your phone,
Well,
and then
yes and no.
I mean, like, I crop pictures all the time.
I can go back and revert cropped pictures right now. I can go back 5 months and go find a picture I cropped and revert it to its original.
Yeah.
That's
but
what
it stores all of those photos on your phone.
But it doesn't store. It alters that photo and then I only can change that photo. So I have to go back to that photo to change it. It doesn't it doesn't keep the original in the cloud.
So I don't have a good photo to show you, but like I'll have an image of something. I take a picture of it, and then I'll crop it, and then it'll make a new image for that. So then I'll have the original and a new image.
That's that's the two ways you can do it. You can either create a new image
or revision history,
and you can have to either delete the old one or just have the storage of both those images on your phone.
Yeah.
Or you can have it where the one that you see on your phone is always going to be
the cropped one,
that cropped image, but it's actually storing separately. It's hiding the original image and keeping all the changes you have separately on.
I've been in situations,
but isn't that so? Sorry, Dale, go ahead.
No, I've been in situations a lot with the podcast, and not that many in my personal life anymore, just because of how more accessible the internet is nowadays. But we're recording something, or I'm doing something on my phone, and I need that extra storage.
Yeah.
And I got the 256 gig card in here just so I can take pictures, because I was recording, like when we go to the auto show, I use my phone to record all the video. And so I'm just recording right to my SD card.
Especially if we were doing 4K, a terabyte would be great for 4K recording because it's so high. Because what was that, 100 gigs for that 30-minute, 45-minute video we did?
88.
It's like almost
but still, yeah, it was huge.
If the average person is taking photos, like I think Amanda, I mean, she's not the average person either, but she fills up her phone every 2 months. Fills it completely up. And she has an external card that I gave her. I think it's a 64 gig or something, because that's the max she can do with an S7. Yeah. And it fills up, and then she has to go through and take everything off her on an external drive, and then put everything, or go start from scratch again.
That's the reason why I like the cloud option, is because if you're ever running out, obviously Apple and whoever's paying for the cloud storage is going to love people that do that, because then they're like, hey, for 99 cents more, do you want to add an extra 200 gigs? And you're like, sure. And if you're using 5G and your download speeds are in the hundreds of megabytes to gigabytes per second, you're going to be able to take every single image on your phone, upload them to the cloud, and delete them off your phone that much faster.
So I think
the technology is coming out to make it easier to use.
No, I like the technology with the 5G. I think it's the issue. Like I said, it's been the certain situations where I'm in Kobo, and cell phone reception there has gotten a lot better over the years. But when we first started the podcast, I couldn't get any signal.
Yeah.
So then, 3 years ago, I had no signal. Now I have fine signal.
Yeah.
So I think it's, like I said, as technology is getting better and as they've expanded the network, then it's fine. But
wireless headphones, man.
Can't get on board yet.
We spent way too much time on doing this. But I agree. Wire is fine. Letterkenny, what's going on with that? I don't know who put that.
I put that on there. I just wanted to talk about it real quick. It's a TV show from Canada. It's literally about like Canadian rednecks or something, and it is hilarious. I've been watching it.
On Hulu, isn't it?
I have no idea. I don't have Hulu. Well, actually, I just got Hulu. I'm watching that Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's from Canada, and it's just Canadian rednecks talking. It is funny as fuck, and I definitely think you guys should check it out. And just
that's one where he's like, "There's nothing greater than a fart," and he's like, "Except for watching kids fall off bicycles, I could watch that all day."
Hey, they're not my kids.
That's exactly yeah. So I remember seeing commercials for it on Hulu all the time.
Yeah.
So I've never watched it, but
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into our first recurring segment of the show, Pop Culture Illiteracy with Josh and Dale.
All right, Dale. You ready for this?
No.
The Grammys.
God damn it. Don't do the Grammys. Don't do the Grammys.
And I just want you to tell me which song and artist won Song of the Year.
I know this one. This is America, Childish Gambino.
That is right.
Oh my God, I got that. I literally saw it on something. I don't remember what I saw it on.
Exactly. That's why I ask you these questions, because they're out there and we see it.
Awesome.
Also, there's a Project Nerd post about the Grammys.
Oh, it could have been that.
Nice.
So
that was very painless. I'm glad that went fast.
The other redemption question I was going to ask you is, from Dexter's Laboratory, how do you say cheese omelet in French?
Omelette du fromage. Or something like that.
Man, I think you should get 4 out of 5 for that one. 3.5. 3.5 out of 5. All right.
That would have been your redemption question.
That one I could have. I used to watch that on repeat. There's probably a 10-hour version on YouTube.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's why I knew you'd get it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into nerdy news.
All right. So this week,
we've been watching a lot of Netflix.
You're not wrong. This week, Netflix didn't shock anybody by canceling Punisher and Jessica Jones just in time for the seasons to be over.
Jessica Jones still has season 3 that needs to release.
Yeah, they have it already. They've already produced it and everything like that. So they won't be renewing it, but they just threw that on there. This will be the last season.
Fucking stupid.
This will be the last season for Jessica Jones and Punisher.
I did finish The Punisher season 2, and it was actually pretty good too.
I have not finished Punisher, but it's a pretty cool show.
They left it open thinking that it was going to be something else, though. But
yeah, well, they'll come back with all those cool new characters in the Punisher rating or whatever we're going to do. But within the Netflix app, we're also looking at the Umbrella Academy, which is now the only, I guess, comic books. Good job, Josh. You got your stand goal because we're standing and recording today. The Umbrella Academy is the only superhero, I guess, Netflix show that's going to be around ever. You know, I think everything's going away. What?
Yeah, I think so. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I don't know. But that's canceled now too, isn't it?
I think so. I think it was canceled before they even canceled.
I remember Dale cried about it.
But I haven't watched the Umbrella Academy. I heard it's kind of tough to like get into. First couple episodes are kind of drab or long, drawn out. But afterwards, I heard it picks up. So I'm interested to see that.
Yeah, there's also The Runaways on Hulu.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. For whatever reason, like I'm not here. I don't think it's as popular of a show, and therefore that's why we're not getting as much like, oh, what is Hulu gonna do with The Runaways? Like, I don't think the world cares. But that's just me kind of judging The Runaways because I've never seen a single episode.
Also, the rights for The Runaways. I mean, they're what?
The
rights for The Runaways are fairly new. I think I remember reading something like that. They picked that up only like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe they did pick it up from Disney, and maybe that's why they're like.
Well, okay. There was something about Hulu. Hulu saved all of the Marvel something or another. Somebody posted that.
The other thing too that I might have thought I never realized is I think Disney might actually have a controlling stock in Hulu because Fox used to own.
Fact check.
The 31%.
Are you serious? You already know that?
Yeah, I looked it up the other day.
Okay, I was gonna say because Fox used to own like a pretty big chunk of Hulu, and now that Disney bought Fox, then that means by association Disney owns it. So maybe that's why they're not like worried about people watching.
Well, also because Hulu is a television streaming service. Also, not just the
Don't let Hulu hear you say that because they love their movies.
So it's not owned by the Walt Disney. It's owned by ABC. ABC is owned by Disney. So it's
through some associative property they are.
Well, what I mean to say is that Hulu is currently doing like basically hours after television, where that's not being done for Netflix. Netflix is strictly originals and post production shows.
Yeah.
So
there's even Hulu Live.
So yeah, you can do Hulu Live too. But speaking of Netflix,
enough of S and Hulu's D here. Let's get back to Netflix.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I spent the last couple weeks watching a bunch of shows on Netflix. I just wanted to binge. Maybe it's just the weather.
Seasonal depression.
Yeah. So I started the Dragon Prince 3 days ago and finished the Dragon Prince in 3 days. How many episodes
is that?
9 per season. There's 2 seasons out right now. Season 2 just came out last week.
For those who don't do math, that's 12 episodes. 18 episodes.
You're so smart.
He did that on purpose. We know he did that on purpose.
You're like the top 1,000.
I was going to say 20 episodes, but I wanted to underball it.
Some of my favorite episodes from Avatar The Last Airbender were written by the guy who created the Dragon Prince. So you get Zuko Alone, the episode where it took place on how Zuko's journey after he left Iroh. It has The Storm. He was one of the directors of that. The one where Katara spends the episode with Zuko to kind of do like her journey thing was also written by this guy. So a bunch of really good Avatar The Last Airbender episodes were actually written by the guy who writes The Dragon Prince. Plus the voice of Sokka plays the main character in The Dragon Prince. So every time you hear that, you get to be like, oh man, let's make him cool. And they don't make him cool.
Nice.
But he does finally get his bending powers. I'm just kidding.
Bender.
What?
What'd you say? Say that last part?
That he does finally get his bending powers, but I was just kidding. Because Sokka's notorious for not having bending powers throughout all of Avatar The Last Airbender, and he plays a character who's normal in this too as well.
See, but this is another example of you focusing on the wrong part of the show.
No, this show is okay. So literally, like I watched a video where some guy was like reviewing the Dragon Prince, and it started off and it was like sky, moon, ocean, earth. Long ago, all the nations lived together until the dragon was killed. And then like now 3 kids need to join together and do this thing, find this and do this. And like it literally like
so it's
did the Avatar The Last Airbender intro, but for this, and it fit perfectly.
So it's like Avatar, but minus the bending part.
Except there's magic and mages and stuff, and like blood elves and night elves and
so minus the bending
elves.
part.
So it's not a continuation of the story.
No, it's not. But it is. It's
gotcha.
Heavily influenced by Avatar: The Last Airbender. Some of like the really good things that I got from Avatar: The Last Airbender was like, man, that's a really good point. And things that they did in the show, openly gay characters with disabilities. Politics, like talking about like how we do history and stuff like that. It was really a good series. So I loved it. I encourage everyone, if you've got 25 minutes an episode, 18 episodes, I mean, it's really something that you could do in a couple days. So yeah, I really want people to check out The Dragon Prince. Another awesome TV series that I somehow binged and watched all the way through on Netflix was Sex Education.
Oh, great show. Tasha and I watched it too.
It is. I mean, again, so everyone watch Dragon Prince with your kids and stuff because it's kid friendly. Sex Education, definitely not kid friendly. There's titties in the first episode.
Nice. So Sex Education kind of centers around a what we call him, a late bloomer, or I guess we call it sexually.
He's a sexual late bloomer. He's in high school, so
it revolves around
so how is he a late bloomer if he's having sex in high school?
He's not.
But
everyone else is.
So the thing about it is his mom is a sex therapist, so he is literally like through the transitive property of listening to her use her home office for therapy sessions and also sex.
She has lots of sex.
He basically becomes a tiny little sex therapist for his high school.
So he's a sex therapist who's never had sex.
I hate you guys for even bringing this out.
Why?
This sounds so dumb.
It was hilarious. Really good, Dale.
It's a really good show.
And like every episode basically has him like solving problems for somebody in the show. And I mean, they play it well. It's British, so it has
it's kind of a
British dry humor.
It's ups and downs. It's a little love triangle kind of thing. You know, boy falls in love with girl doesn't pay attention to him.
But in high school.
girl also pays attention to him later.
What do you mean, but in high school? This is literally everybody except yours high school experience, Dale.
Yeah, pretty much. Minus the part where you talk to somebody who never had sex.
Watch a gay guy get punched out.
That's watch a gay guy punch somebody out.
Yeah, I mean, and then watch that gay guy. Never mind. I don't want to spoil it, but
I don't understand.
Condom on a banana.
That's true. They do put a condom on a banana.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay. Alita Battle Angel. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. What, Dale? What?
And Alita Battle Angel looks so stupid.
No. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I can't. I'm the only one
not on board with the nerdy topics today.
I'm the only one who's seen Alita so far.
We're not going to talk about the next one. So,
but it is you guys. Yeah, I'm not going to have any input in the next topic. That's you guys. So let me have my moment, Dale.
Go ahead.
So Alita Battle Angel, spoiler-free review. So one of the things I just got to backtrack here. I went to the special edition showing of Alita Battle Angel 3D. There was a Q&A with James Cameron and the director and a couple of the actors from the show movie, and they did Twitter questions and things like that. It was a really fun experience just going to the movie for that kind of thing. A lot better than the Star Wars experience I paid for. So yeah, it was overall a really good movie. I can't stress enough how awesome the movie was. James Cameron did it again. So I was not a huge fan of Avatar, the series. However, I respected what Avatar did for CGI at the time, what it did for 3D. Like, it literally, say what you will, when Avatar came out, it briefly we saw an uptick in 3D TVs. The technology that was used in that revolutionized cinema to the point where everybody wanted to copy off James Cameron and launch all these things. I think Alita Battle Angel has done it again. The CG and the storytelling and how that whole entire movie looks was seamless. There were times where if she didn't have those big old doe eyes, I literally would not have thought that I was watching a CG character.
And Dale, before you say it, robots are caricatures of people. They are given big doe eyes specifically for that reason. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that it looks stupid or whatever.
She wasn't a robot, though.
What do you mean she wasn't a robot?
She's not a robot.
What is she?
She's a cyborg. So there's no robots in this film. They're all cyborgs. Well, there were some robots, but they were protection robot things.
So her,
like drones.
Her big old doe eyes are real person eyes.
Those are real person eyes, and it's a metaphor.
Fucking stupid is what you meant to say.
So her face was real. Her brain was real. The rest of her was pretty much cyborg body. And like that was kind of a main theme in it, is that society got this super advanced tech, and then some war happened. I don't want to get too much into it, but a war happened and cast a lot of people back into the Stone Age, except for one super advanced society that was still left, but everybody else was back in the Stone Age. And these people literally live underneath the super advanced society where they just throw out robot parts like it's garbage. And the people that are suffering and dying and like getting arms chopped off are like, hey, we can use these robot parts on our people to actually make our people better and more survivable.
So are there other people in this? Are there other people that have big old doe eyes like her?
No.
I don't get it. Okay, hold on.
You gotta see. I can't. If I say it, it's gonna spoil it.
If you take the doe eyes out, does the movie still work?
No, the metaphor is lost.
Metaphor of what?
The metaphor for the movie.
She's a battle angel.
If she's a battle angel, she's a warrior. Why does she have big eyes?
Because she's seeing the world through big childlike doe eyes. So she wakes up with no memory of her life at all, and she literally has to learn everything over again. She doesn't know where she is, so she's seeing the world.
But she's human.
She has a human brain.
And those eyes are part of
a non-robot brain.
Yes.
And she's seeing the world through these eyes, usually like a child with this. Literally like doe eyes
even
is the expression, and that's why it's a metaphor.
So she's all cyborg, but there's just like a skull in there.
She's not a cyborg. Or she's a cyborg. She's literally. Like even her skull is cybernetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, her brain is real, and that's pretty much about it. Her skin on her face is real from what I can see too. But I think the manga is going to get better in that.
The eyes are fake.
From what I could tell, no.
So my question is, why did they just go with like how the Ghost in the Shell is?
It is very similar to Ghost in the Shell, and it's actually based off a manga.
What I'm saying is like if like how the movie was, she was a woman, or she was a Scarlett Johansson, but just why couldn't they just do that?
Well, so that's the part that I didn't know about it. It's perturbing me about this because I knew that the movie was about cyborgs, and I knew that she had a brain.
Yep.
But I thought that literally it was Ghost in the Shell, where it's literally Ghost in the Shell.
Mm-hmm.
So the shell is fake, and the rest is real. So I thought her big doe eyes were just fucking robot eyes.
So now you know that
if she is a human, her eyes shouldn't be giant.
I didn't say she's human.
I know you didn't say she's human, which is why I'm saying she's a fucking robot.
Can we mute it real quick so I can just tell you, like without like spoiling anything? Maybe you might be like, oh, okay.
So they're talking about stuff, and now they're trying to figure out exactly what. Because I'm not taking this part out. I think it's hilarious. I think it's stupid as fuck, but whatever. They're still talking, and I'm sitting here waiting, and they're muting.
It's so good.
All right, Dale.
It's so good.
All right, so you mute, and then we'll talk about that, and I'll tell you.
Who am I muting?
Just kidding. No, so
Dale doesn't want to see the movie anyways. I hope he sees it, but he doesn't want to see it anyways. But it literally
if it was on Netflix or something, I would see
pause. Dale, what he just told me makes perfect sense. Okay, listen.
But I can't spoil it because people
just spoil it.
Well, hold on.
I don't want it. I don't want to spoil it.
It's only a week. We've only been like 6 days out. We can't spoil it. We'll spoil next week.
Okay.
But we'll tell you afterwards. All right. So next thing,
I will babysit your child if you and your wife want to go see Alita. Like that's how much I want you to see the movie because it is that good.
We'll do it.
I hate kids.
Condoms on a banana. No, I'm just kidding. Next thing, we got this big old rock of a story here. A new game is taking the world by storm. It's a battle royale game. EA's Origin platform. Dale, do you want to do the honors?
No, you said everything already.
Didn't, except for the name.
Say the name.
That's everything. Summed it all up there.
What?
Say the name.
Apex Legends.
Smedgens?
It's Apex Legends.
Smorgasborgy.
Apex Legends is a battle royale style game where you can currently control 6 characters and unlock 2 more to get 8 total characters. Dale, anything you want to add?
Yeah, they all have different functions. It's pretty much a mixture between like PUBG, Titanfall, and a little bit of I don't know. It's a really cool game. You can see people have talked about it.
Titanfall?
What?
Have you ever played Titanfall?
I have not. I've seen a lot of gameplay of it though.
Oh, okay. You said Titanfall.
I've never played DayZ, but I've seen like hours of it.
It's got a lot of the thing about Titanfall and where people keep bringing that in is it's got a lot of the movement mechanics of Titanfall. So that's what's making it appealing. Somebody had mentioned something one time or another about bringing mechs into the game. Whether that comes into play later on in the game or not, that'll be different.
Like that girl who has a mech in Fortnite? Not Fortnite, Overwatch?
No, that's a Korean battle suit.
That's
a mech suit.
So the Titanfall suits or something giant like that.
I don't play either of these games, so it's these two guys.
But cool thing that they're doing is they've already said some weird things are happening. Dale, have you seen or noticed any of the head bobbing effect?
No.
There's a story.
You're talking about like when you're walking on certain things?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed a little bit of that.
So I didn't notice it, but I guess that's a thing. So people are saying they can only play for 2 to 4 hours because their eyes, the head bobbing makes their head hurt or something like that.
It's just the it's honestly just the ground you're walking on. Like certain ground that doesn't happen on.
Huh. Like I was saying, I hadn't noticed it. So
And when you're creeping, does it happen?
No.
Like if you're like in a crouch position,
If you're creeping, no.
No, it doesn't when you're.
But I thought it was only PC, but apparently it's on other platforms.
Yes, it is available on Xbox and PlayStation.
Cross-platform.
It is not currently cross-platform. A lot of that's frowned upon because of the mouse keyboard advantage. However, Microsoft Insider Program lets you use a mouse keyboard for gameplay as long as it's supported. There are a number of game developers who already have PC games who are making the controls available for Xbox gaming. That being said, PlayStation hasn't gotten on the bandwagon yet. Probably won't. And I won't even worry about it because I don't even have those consoles anymore.
But I do.
Yeah.
I just replayed Resident Evil 6 the other day.
Did I what?
Say about Apex Legends?
Nothing more than that. I just kind of wanted
What's
to bring
your
it
character?
up. I've been playing a mixture between Lifeline, which is the healer girl.
Of course.
Also, I like support characters. And then also I've been playing what's the guy's name? Tell me
what he does. I'll come up with. He poisons people.
Calypso.
No, Calypso.
What was it? Kaleo? Was it?
I can't remember.
He poisons people.
Yeah.
His name's Super Fang.
Yeah, that's what it is. Super Fang. It is looking up the official site because I know Mirage is the other one that I don't have.
Ooh, I bet they're a stealth character.
What?
I bet they're a stealth character.
There is. What do you think it's called?
Mirage.
Caustic.
Caustic is the one.
I thought that's why it was Calypso.
No, Mirage is they send out like a decoy, and then there's Wraith, which makes like can kind of go through.
Yep. I'm looking at the website.
Wraith is my favorite.
Yeah,
that's who I've been playing as.
Lifeline looks spunky.
Yep, I like Lifeline, and then I play Caustic a lot, and then the other two I've been kind of playing is Bangalore. What?
Okay.
Gibraltar.
I like these names.
Gibraltar and Bangalore is the other two I play.
So Bangalore is a giant, it was a weapon back in the day. So I can see Professional Soldier being that. Tracker being named Bloodhound. Cool. I can see that. But like Gibraltar was the
Rock of Gibraltar.
No, it was, yeah. So it was like a siege front back in the day. So like that was really kind of cool. I'm trying to remember what Caustic was from. And obviously he's a shielded fortress. Yeah. So that makes sense too. I kind of like these names. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what Caustic.
I would love for you to play it, Josh, but your computer can't handle it.
Shut your mouth. My computer's better than Drew's as of right now.
Your laptop?
Yeah.
No.
What's your graphics card do you have in?
NVIDIA 1080 or 1070.
In your laptop?
Yeah.
Is it a 1080 Ti?
I'm not entirely sure.
The 1080 Ti came out after you bought the laptop.
No.
No, it was literally the top of the line graphics card. That was my main point for buying it.
I told you not to do it.
$100 on my laptop.
No. I guess, yeah.
I wanted to make sure it was VR ready.
That's true. Mine's VR ready.
I know.
Mine's VR ready.
Tasha's is VR ready.
So literally this rating.
I'm about to buy us 2 VRs.
I want to.
I guarantee it's got to be a TI, Josh.
It might be. I'm not entirely sure what it is off the top of my head.
I was like, if that is,
it's an Republic of Gaming laptop.
You sent me the specs on it in an email or text?
I don't remember.
Probably text. Josh, we're gonna get into blind science question.
Yay!
Science time.
Yay!
This is gonna go pretty good with our lead a battle angel and our blind science topic being blind science. Colorblind people, Josh.
Ooh.
How do Enchroma glasses work?
In Chroma glasses, for people that are colorblind, with like a red-green colorblind, usually what they'll do is they'll offset a another. So it's basically using a like a constructive interference with the different spectrums. And what they do is when you put on the chroma glasses, they should cancel part of the one spectrum and shift it over into the other spectrum that they can't see. So if you're red-green colorblind, that means you're not seeing the wavelengths between the whatever nanometer wavelength is on your green side, 400, 450, and red, which is a larger wavelength, 700 maybe. I can't quite tell. But what it does is it breaks neighboring wavelengths to that, so green and yellow, and splits them off into differentiating wavelengths. So then when you're seeing them, what it's doing is it's allowing you to, instead of seeing red, you see two different sets of yellow, essentially. So if you had like a red there, it's really, color's really crazy to talk about, because like when I say these colors, I don't necessarily mean like
traditional
what you see as yellow and what I see as yellow. I mean, like that person would now essentially just spontaneously be like, oh my God, there's a new color there that I've never seen before. And then they associate that with the color red or green to be able to tell the difference there. But it literally just takes taking the receptors that your eyes are already for and splitting those colors into some new colors. And then they can actually now distinguish those colors from the background. So if you had a red and green colorblind test where you can't see the difference between those two colors, now what it does is it'll shift the red more towards the yellow side and the green more towards like a blue side. And now you'll be able to see the differentiating colors there. So it doesn't quite give you like colored vision necessarily, because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it cherry picks colors.
Yep.
Yep.
I learned that in my limits of consciousness class.
I have no idea.
Do you think that was a good explanation?
Is that correct? An explanation?
Correct, an explanation.
Then yes, I think it was a fine explanation.
Is it correct?
Yeah.
Does that mean it's
All
good?
right, Josh.
I didn't look up anything for that, so
Speed through these.
Okay. So just real quick,
Booth
BFR.
Freighter Rendsburg.
The BFR is the big Falcon rocket, or the big fucking rocket, as Elon likes to call it. That is stage one of the actual rocket system, BFR, and then Starship being on top of that. But you can kind of just refer to the whole thing as BFR. Everyone does. But so there is a new thing that came out saying they were going to start using stainless steel instead of an aluminum alloy. And people were like, why the hell are they going to use aluminum alloys or not stainless? Why are they using stainless steel? That's going to make it so much heavier. And the reason why is because the heat shielding. They're no longer going to use tile heat shields. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to use a liquid methane pore system, essentially. So this rocket will literally sweat liquid methane, and as the heat burns off the little tiny pieces of liquid methane, it has to spend energy to turn the liquid methane into gas to then be able to ignite the methane on the outside of the rocket. And it would be similar to how people sweat and you create water droplets, and then those water droplets evaporate with the heat, causing your skin to cool. So it's this revolutionary way of doing it. It hasn't actually worked for anybody yet. But if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's going to be Tesla and SpaceX, sorry.
Elon.
So Elon, yeah, I think they're definitely going to be able to do lots of in-atmosphere tests of this heat shield to be able to see how it works. But yeah, using a stainless steel body, and then they just put essentially a replica mock-up of the Starship in Texas, and then they've recently applied for FAA clearance. So what they're going to start doing now is they're going to start landing their BFR. So they're going to put just regular Falcon 9 rockets probably inside it, and then work on how the computers are going to work to launch it and land it. So they're going to start doing, a couple dozen meters off the ground and keep going higher and higher and higher, just like they did for the Falcon Heavy rockets and the Falcon 9 rockets. They did little tiny jump tests. And so they're going to keep going higher and higher and higher up until they can get to a sufficient height where they can land it. And then they're going to build the actual Starship on top of that using, I think, the actual Dragon rockets or the Raptors. It's going to use a Dragon rocket in the Starship. They're going to use the Raptor engines in the BFR. So
Nice.
lots of new fun things coming there. And then also for those of you guys that have been looking at memes on the internet, there's one circulating around right now where a person asked the question, how hard or how many times would they need to actually slap a chicken to cook it?
What?
So fun thing. So Dale, you can go for this. So anytime you use kinetic energy on something, part of that energy is going to go to heat. So someone said, so if I slap a chicken, basically I'm giving that chicken heat. So how many times would I need to slap the chicken to be able to cook said chicken to like edible temperatures, which is about 165, 168 degrees? So somebody did the math calculating like how much like an average hand weighs and how much kinetic energy a slap can generate. And then was like, oh, you need this many slaps to do so. But then was like, well, how many would I need to cook the chicken in just one slap? So the guy found out that roughly over 1,600 meters per second, if you slapped a chicken going that fast, you would instantly cook the chicken with said slap. So,
but the issue is, I mean,
obviously you break your hand. I mean,
and it's actually 3,275 miles per hour.
Yeah, which is 16.6 something meters per second.
This is so stupid.
But the internet did it, and I think it. I don't think
if you slap a chicken, it's not going to cook anything.
Why wouldn't it?
If you
You're
add
transferring
energy
heat
over
to the
time, you're going to lose it to the atmosphere. You're going to lose it to convection.
Correct. So yeah. So what they don't calculate in that original equation is the coefficient of heat loss for the chicken in just normal.
It's not a realistic test.
So that's why they said let's just do the one slap, because one slap, then you don't have to worry about it. Which is why I find that statistic, 16,000 meters per second roughly, hitting a chicken right there. Which makes me think like all these like anime people that use all this power to like punch something, like I bet All Might, Goku, One Punch Man actually end up cooking people that they've punched because of how hard and how much kinetic energy is actually going into said punch.
It would have to be somebody who couldn't withstand that heat. Though, like I would assume that some of those people have the ability to withstand that heat transfer more substantially than the others. But
it's just crazy. I haven't seen this on like because science.
Can we get like maybe some, I don't know, people who do an abridged version of our favorite shows to maybe edit in some chicken punching or chicken slapping?
Like is Goku just going to slap a chicken back and forth a bunch of times until it cooks?
I mean, he could definitely kick it a bunch of times.
I mean, and to be, if we're going to get that crazy, like obviously they just use their key energy to cook something that way instead of like
they gotta
slap it or punch it.
They gotta come across the internet meme.
Yeah.
In canon, and then
oh my god, if Goku found out he could cook food by just punching it,
exactly,
you hear like the as he just goes and punches things and just starts eating it. Like
he's like, punch this tofu, punch that. Even though you don't.
Pound your tuna.
Ugh. I can't believe you said that. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for the Today Show.
The Today Show?
No.
I'm on the wrong podcast.
No, that's going to do it for 2 days, comma show.
Oh.
So the comma?
Today's space show. Not today, the Today Show. It's 2 days show,
which is actually coming out in
3 days,
hopefully, if we can get the other episodes out.
All right, well, you guys have a wonderful night. Bye. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to Sexy Nerd Science Season 5.
Make sure to like us and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Don't forget to check out our merch on Teespring and support us on Project Nerd Patreon at patreon.com/projectnerd.